Rakesh and you're watching Global Governance News TV. Today, many important news, but two news is very important. One, RBI repo rate, how it increase of 40%, 4.4, and how it impacts on all the price uh, will just rise like anything. And another news in Navneet Rana and Ravi Rana, the MP Navneet Rana and the MLA Ravi Rana, wife husband, got the bail after 11 days in jail. And Rahul Gandhi, how Rahul Gandhi enjoying Nepal, the great leader of the country. So starting from the Navneet Rana, Hanuman Chalisa row. If you read the Hanuman Chalisa, you will be in the jail. This is Maharashtra. Always where I think you should aware of that. If you there's only crime, whatever they just proposed was sedition law also. So independent MP Navneet Rana and her husband MLA Ravi Rana granted bail by the Mumbai court after public election that they would reside Hanuman Chalisa outside Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray's home were granted bail by Mumbai court today. The couple has been named accused for 2 FIR under the charges of sedition, promoting enmity and assaulting a public servant to prevent discharge of duty. If you are in power, you can do anything. Whatever Uddhav Thackeray is doing, they've just forget the all sermons, all just advices, all the rules and all the knowledges of Honorable Balasaheb Thackeray. The couple has named and the Mr. Rana MP from Amravati and Mr. Rana MLA from the Badnera Assembly segment arrested on April 23rd. Hours after they cancelled their plan to reside Hanuman Chalisa outside the Matoshri, the private residence of Chief Minister Thackeray. The couple had slammed the Chief Minister and said he had deviated from the ideology practiced by his father and Shiv Sena founder Balasaheb Thackeray. Granting the couple bail, Special Judge R.N. Rokadi said they shall not commit a similar offence while on bail and not address the press or any subject related to the case. In their plea, the couple had claimed that call to recite the Hanuman Chalisa outside Matoshri cannot be said to be an act that promotes feeling of the enmity or hatred, and the charge under IPC section 153A cannot be sustained. They also submitted that no stretch of imagination can the acts be stated to constitute the offence of sedition. The police had opposed the bail plea, saying that while the plan looks innocent, it was in fact a big plot to challenge the ruling government. Just to understand how if people challenge and they criticize the government, this would be the bail. This is a democracy. This is called the vibrant democracy. Every Indian, every citizen of Maharashtra should think if the MLAs and MP may be behind the bar and behind the jail, wow, what will be the status of the normal citizen, normal people of Maharashtra especially? The police claimed that opposition in BJP in the state and political opponents. Thackeray were trying to create an atmosphere to show that Chief Minister was against Hindus and not sponsoring the cause of Hinduism. What is police claim? We should understand how they are just behaving. The name of Hindu and Hinduism. What they understand. Whatever done passed by the Balasaheb Thackeray, not by the Uddhav Thackeray. If there is something for the theory and a philosophy of Hinduism, so they should not join this Congress and NCP for all the opponent till life of Balasaheb Thackeray. April 23rd saw the high drama following the couple's declaration. Shiv Sena workers camped outside Matoshri. Foreign Mumbai Mayor and Sena leader Kishori Pednekar said, "Let them come. We are ready to welcome them and give them prasad." You can understand what type of prasad they can give. The party did accuse the BJP of hatching a conspiracy to harass the Sena-led coalition government, and Maharashtra using the Ranas and Maharashtra Nawal Sena. Chief Raj Thackeray has bonds. The MLA Ravi Rana and MP Navneet Rana have challenged the law and order situation. They are prompted to do this by someone, the Shiv Sena MP Anil Desai. Senior party leader Sanjay Raut, a spokesperson of Shiv Sena, described the poll as the bunty or bubbly. People like Rana are characters the Nautanki drama and strength of BJP. And BJP leader and former Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, has slammed the Shiv Sena led government and said his handling of it was a very childish. The state government tries to hide its failure by charming the situation it can't handle as the BJP sponsored. He said, if allowed, the Rana couple had have gone there. Matoshri recited Hanuman Chalisa, written without creating any news. I don't understand why so many people had gathered several places. If they, Rana Kapul, were planning some attack, what kind of politics is the BJP leader Fadnavis said? So we understand if you want to go recite the Hanuman Chalisa, it's a crime in Maharashtra. And whatever they are doing, this should not be. They are trying to tease the nation of the all Hindus. They are allowed on the roadside the Nawaz, just to ban the traffic, stop the traffic for the common people, for the promotion of the Islam and Muslims. That is totally against it was the vision and statement and the works of the Balasaheb Thackeray. Sanjay Raut should also understand, and Uddhav Thackeray also stand. And Raj Thackeray is a politician. Why they'll do like that? And the BJP is no need to just use the Navneet Rana and Ravi Rana. Whatever they have done, the name of the Hinduism, they are Hindu. All Hindus should just understand the works and the style of the Uddhav Thackeray government. Uh, that is not a Mahavikas Agadi, this is only self-vikas of the all concerned party, how they are just running the government. All we have seen, we are just watching. So everybody should understand and should be aware, should be alert. If you read the Hanuman Chalisa anywhere on the road, you will be behind the jail. But you can recite what Allahu Akbar, and then you will be welcome and treated as like just a family member of the Uddhav Thackeray. That was totally against it was on the Balasaheb Thackeray. Shame on Uddhav Thackeray, and Hindutva should be will grow like anything in Bharat and around the world, as we have seen it, how the globally NRI is welcoming our Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the name of the development, in the name of the Hinduism, the Sanatan. So we can understand like that, and how we are going like that. We should understand how India is growing, how Bharat is growing. So, our next news for the RBI, how RBI is just announced the policy, and this is a very, it will be how the reacted, the market is buying lower. So, RBI rate hike stock sent market spiraling lower, tackling the inflation risk is now front and center, and the RBI is expected to raise the policy rate by at least 50 bps in the June policy meeting. Stocks and bonds reacted in knee-jerk fashion after Reserve Bank of India Governor Shaktikant Das announced a surprise 40 basis point increase in the key interest rate on May 4. Citing inflationary pressures, they were going beyond control. The RBI Monitoring Policy Committee (MPC) called an unscheduled meeting and unanimously decided to increase repo rate 4.4% with immediate effect. The repo rate is the rate at which the RBI lends money to banks for short-term requirements. The interest rate decision finally ends speculation over the RBI would move away from its accommodative stance, even though the governor said that the 40 bps rate hike today was not a shift in policy accommodation. The stance and the policy conditions will remain accommodative, and the rate increase merely reversed the 40 bps repo cut delivered in May 2020. The standing deposit facility rate is now 4.15%. The RBI also decided to increase the cash reserve ratio (CRR) by 50 bps to 4.5% of net demand and time liabilities, effective from the fortnight beginning May 21st. The hike in CRR by 50 basis points will immediately take off 87,000 crore INR in liquidity and about 2 lakh crore due to the multiplier effect in next 5 to 6 months, said Anil Kumar Bhansali, head of the Treasury of the Finrex Treasury Advisors. This will raise the market in a big way after riding the back of the surplus liquidity. The benchmark stock indices, which were already struggling with the volatility because of the global cues, responded immediately to RBI announcement. The 30-share BSE Sensex and the Nifty 50 both plummeted 22.3% from the previous close. The equity markets went into bloodbath after the hike, since the double hammy, the companies Abhishek Goenka, the founder of IFM Global, referring to the rise could cost now higher interest rate. Some experts had expected the rate hikes given the even worsening inflation in the country, aggravated by the geopolitical crisis. Wholesale prices had already risen by over 10% for 12 consecutive months. Inflation, as measured by the Consumer Price Index, was at 6.95% in March and was expected to accelerate over the next 2 3 months as the actual impact of higher retail fuel prices and the increase in the food prices categories such as edible oil sets in. Today's surprise repo rate and CRR hikes are very well timed as our own CPI inflation projection and April 2022 is an eye-watering 7.4%, said Aditi Nair, Chief Economist of ICRA, by advancing the rate decision of the approximately 1 month. The RBI clearly laid out the rationale of the increasing policy rates, which the intermeeting move, saying it was not adhering to any defined playbook and a responsibility to heighten uncertainty in the global backdrop. The larger intermeeting hike from RBI indicates that tackling inflation risk is now front and center. We now expect the RBI to raise the policy rate at least 50 bps in June policy meeting and see a near term rate pause only around 5.5%. According to Rahul Bazoria, MD and the chief India economist at Barclays. Looking ahead, given the hawkish rhetoric and the high likelihood of an elevated inflation print for April, the RBI will be front loading further hikes. And according to Bazoria, expect the RBI to now deliver at least 50 bps hike in the June policy meeting and policy rate to increase 5.5% by August. The RBI is expected to reassess the macroeconomic momentum to cause a need for further hikes beyond. So this will also impact on the price rise and all the how the expert is mixed reaction and how the country will go and people is already in the grip of the price rise. Everything is going to hike and something good, something in bad, but in common for the common people, it's not good as we think. Accordingly, if you see the collection of the government side has been increased, and GST is also very uh, uh, so. So we can understand. So if you see, one Mr. Dhananjay Sinha of the GF Financial Institutional Securities favors a balanced portfolio with higher weights on the domestic, non-cyclical and defensive components and pharma, technology, and utilities. According to him, the breaking the schedule announcement, the how the RBI India's four decision today hiked the repo rate by 40 basis points, BPS 4.4% soon after unchanged rate in April, in an indication that RBI is making early move to recalibrate the normalization trajectory against higher than projected inflation and fast US monetary policy normalization. Two critical messages from the RBI. One, post is the aiming at the Omicron worries paint up the demand recovery getting widespread, and B, the demand recovery will likely aggravate the inflation scenario, which touched 7% in March 21. Core inflation at over 6% this month. So RBI has enumerated several factors for the higher than expected inflation, most of which are known beforehand. So these include high global food inflation, its spillover effect in India, Bharat persistently high core inflation, high crude prices, second order impact, and high pipeline inflation from elevated input costs, reflected in WPI inflation at around 15%. The out of turn rate, a high contrast with the RBI earlier complacency on inflation, which indicates the central bank as inkling that April print will likely be much higher, maybe in excess of 8%. And hence reported like announcement to comes with a CRR hike of 50 bps to 4.5%. Governor also mentioned that rate and CRR hikes embody a partial reverse of monetary accommodation introduced in the outbreak pandemic. Preemptive strike, Governor referred the emphasis enough that the out of turn rate in liquidity accommodation comes half a day ahead of US Fed's FOMC announcement, which is widely expected to increase rate by 50 bps following the 20 bps hike in March 2022. This is a highly likelihood of a 75 bps hike along with the announcement of balance sheet shrinkage to $95 billion per month. Hence, with the spread between the US Fed rate and the RBI rate narrowing to 300 bps, the Indian Central Bank may have decided to a preemptive hike given its rundown the forex reserved to $600 billion, down $42 billion since October 2021 peak. So we can understand the RBI is titled toward the price stability objective, proceeding behind the immediate focus on the growth stimulus. Given the real GDP growth on 2 year CAGR basis is 2.9%, and the RBI has to act to maintain inflation and manage external sector balances, it is evident that the structural potential GDP growth is much lower than the central bank assumption of 75%. Withdrawal of monetary accommodation, which demand recovery is still modest and fiscal impulse negative, spending growth 4.5% and FY3 in negative real terms. So, continue. It's also have been, according to Mr. Dhananjay Kumar, we have also been consistent highlighting the valuation risk in small and mid cap segments. We continue to favor a balanced portfolio with higher weights on domestic non-cyclical and other defensive components and the pharma, technology, and utilities. So this is a matter of concern for every Indian, and how Dhananjay Sinha is managing director of the chief studies of the HDM Financial Institution Securities, whatever they try to take out the statement and decision of Mr. RBI Governor. So I think it will impact on the price rise, impact on the common people. So RBI and the government of India and Modi government should think for the benefits of the common people. Otherwise, uh, if the price rise will not control, it will be the great impact on the common people. So government should understand and do something better, whatever they are doing according to policy. So now, Rahul, news on Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi was in Nepal, and just you see the video, very a nightclub. I think this is a pub, not the nightclub. So how the Amit Malvi of BJP, yeah, just tweeted after the tweeting the all the nightclub affairs and pub affairs. Congress reacted. How the Amit Malvi had tweeted Rahul Gandhi was at nightclub when Mumbai was under siege. He is at nightclub at time when the party is exploding. He is consistent. Interestingly, soon after Congress refused to outsource their presidency, its job began on their prime minister candidate. So this is a comment. This is satire, and I think 1.7K replies the tweet of the Amit Malviya. So after that, the Congress on Tuesday, I think, yesterday reacted. The senior leader of Forward Party, President Rahul Gandhi, was in Nepal attending a wedding of a journalist friend, Sunimna Das. She was sometimes CNN, also supporter of the China, and the father was also diplomat, also supporter of the Communist Party in China. The statement came after the Amit Malviya tweet. The head of BJP IT department put a video on Twitter purportedly showing the Gandhi at the nightclub. Rahul Gandhi was a nightclub when Mumbai was under siege, and as I just told you, and as he tweeted, and after that, when asked about the Gandhi's whereabouts, Congress Communication Department head Randeep Surjewala told reporters Rajiv Gandhi has not gone, and any uninvited guest like Prime Minister Modi went to Pakistan to celebrate birthday and cake cuts for then Pakistan PM Nawaz Sharif. Rahul Gandhi has gone a family-friendly country, Nepal, to participate in the private marriage function of a friend. By chance, friend was also happens to be journalist. So I think they are also abusing your fraternity. So PTI quoted report of Kathmandu Post. The editor Anil is a very efficient editor. The college was Kathmandu attend wedding for Nepal. So Nima Udas. But how the Ranjit Surjewala reacted on that? How just comparison the nightclub, Rahul Gandhi's nightclub and pub with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi who went for the meet at the Nawaz Sharif just for the I think normalize the situation between the India Pakistan. How just he gifted the mother of Nawaz Sharif. How just take the blessing of that senior lady of Pakistan. What is wrong in this? Surjewala just I think out of control. How he think like that? How he comparison? And who is a journalist? All supporter of the Chinese and all the lobbyists. And PTI also quoted the Kathmandu Post said that was in Nepal, Kathmandu to attend the wedding of Nepali friend. Sunil Das. Who is Sunil Das? Last, when I checked having a family in the country, having friends in the country, attending marriage engagement ceremony in front of culture and civilization. It is not a crime in the country to marry. It should be friends and someone attend the marriage Surjewala said at a press conference. Maybe that would after Modi and BJP decided it's legal to attend a marriage, but not illegal or illegal to attend a marriage, but to know the change of how the uh, actually the civilization status. You go up, but there is no crime to attend the marriage party, but the marriage party not in the pub. What is photo is saying? That was not a marriage actually. That's not a marriage ceremony. So I think they should how they counter. They should know how to counter. I think the Surjewala type leader is just already the enemies of Congress. How they should react or not? Why they are there? And whatever some viral is there, some lady is standing with him, maybe the Chinese ambassador, but that fact is not there, according to CEO of the pub in Kathmandu. So this is not first time. I know one of the senior leader, member of CWC, when he just exchanged views in Parliament, informally we were talking. So how I asked him, where is your president now? He just smiled and just tried to laugh. Rakesh, I don't know, but he may be in Thailand just to massage his body. So we are just like this. We don't understand how our leader is. I mean, once a month or 20 days out of country. So we can understand the personality analysis of Rahul Gandhi, how they will lead the country. I don't think Rahul Gandhi, like person, should be the leader of the country. At anyhow, either it will be Congress from ABCDEF, but not Rahul Gandhi at least. And already Sonia Gandhi discarded by the earlier when he just planted a name of Dr. Manmohan Singh. So everybody should understand, every people should understand how the leader is that. You can't show any pics of the Narendra Bhai Modi in last 40 years at the pub and anywhere. You can't compare the Prime Minister Modi with Rahul Gandhi. Not a single comparison. I challenge to each and everyone in the country. There's no personality comparative or no anything. So Congress should understand, should be serious about this leader. And already we know the G23 already active against the Sonia Gandhi leadership and Rahul Gandhi. How the party is going on, how the Ashok Gehlot reacted in state, and how the government in Jharkhand is supported by the Congress, and how Chhattisgarh. I think Rahul Gandhi is going to help to the vision of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Congress Mukh Bharat, if he are continuous doing like that. So these are the all important news today. How see that and how and analyze that, and we'll meet again and with the all analytical input of the everyday story of news analysis by me. And continue just watch, share, and like and subscribe Global Governance News and to promote the movement of the industries. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.